various people from the real estate industry, just around the neighborhood, or just good things that are going good around the way. So today I got my second guest, and this time I'm bringing to you a gentleman who's in the residential mortgage industry. He's going to be able to tell you some tidbits about what it's going to take to become a homeowner in 2020. I know I've been already proclaiming that 2020 is the year of home ownership, the year of ownership period. So I'm trying to bring you as much knowledge and information to help you out there make good decisions and get yourself in a position to actually buy a home this year if you're not already in that position. So today I've got Chris Marshall. We're Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. So Chris, man, tell the audience a little bit, man, where you from, man? Tell them a little bit about your background.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Thomas. I'm from a small town, Georgetown, Ohio. Went to college at Ohio Wesleyan University.
Mm-hmm.
Graduated in 2011, and from there I worked at the university for almost 2 years, and then I got into the finance industry.
Okay.
I worked at Chase in their credit card department. I worked at Morgan Stanley in their global stock plan services department, and then from there I went to I got into mortgages.
Okay.
So I've been there for the last in the mortgage industry for the last 5 years.
Nice. So what was it about? It sounds like you went through kind of a transition, trying to figure out which direction you're going to go. What was it about the mortgage industry that kind of drew you to say, this is it. This is where I want to be.
Yeah. So with mortgages, I was able to help the people around me with what I do, and that's what made me stay. Other than I'm able to make a decent living.
Okay, that's always critical.
That's
right?
always critical. But I'm also able to help. Some of my first clients were my family.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us aren't homeowners.
Oh man, yeah, I see it every day.
So I got a lot of us into homes now for the first time, and that meant a lot to me. So I'm sticking around in the industry for a while.
All right, good stuff, man. And that's kind of one of the same reasons I got into real estate, man, because I believe in home ownership. I want to create more homeowners, and it's the same thing with my family.
Right.
I grew up around a lot of people. Some of them did own their home, but a lot of them just didn't even think it was possible.
Right.
They didn't know where to begin. What am I supposed to do? What needs to happen for me to ever get to the point where I can own a home? And I run into so many people that I talk to on a daily basis that don't have a clue. They're just throwing their hands up like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so forget it. I'm just not even going to try. So talk to me a little bit. If I'm that person that's sitting out there and I'm like, I want to own a home. I'm sitting in my room watching this, but I just don't know where to start. What's the first thing somebody should do when they're thinking about becoming a homeowner? It was kind of like step 1, step 2, and kind of walk them through that initial process.
Right. Well, step 1 is you want to find out, how much you qualify for. Okay. And what you're comfortable with as far as your monthly payment. All right. Because you may qualify for more than actually what you're comfortable with paying every month. Okay. So what I would do is I would find a reputable lender, loan officer, and just apply. And all that's going to take is your name, date of birth, social security number, your last 2 years of residential history, last 2 years of work history, and how much you currently make. Gotcha. All right.
Now once they reach out to this lender, they're going to gather that information. Kind of what are they going to do with that information? I mean, are they just trying to look at my credit? What do they really want to know as far as to see if I qualify? I guess.
Right. So yeah, we're definitely going to look at your credit. So with your credit report, not only your score is one of the factors, but we're looking at the debts that you have. Okay. All right. So we're going to use your minimum monthly payments. Stack that up against your gross monthly income and get your debt to income ratio.
Gotcha.
All right. So that's one thing. We're going to look at the last 2 years of your residential history, and because we want to verify that you're a good tenant, you made your payments. If that's a good indicator that you make your mortgage payment as well. Okay. And then as far as work history, we want to know that you have stable income, so that you're able to continue to make the mortgage payment. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're jumping from job to job and you only have part-time income, sometimes it's a little more difficult to get you qualified.
I got you. So they want to make sure you're stable more than
right. You're stable.
I got you. So when it comes to, I know that first part of that is credit. A lot of people are worried about their credit. It might not be. They think they got bad credit. What credit score does somebody need to get qualified for a loan? I mean, where does it kind of start at?
Right. So 580 is the minimum credit score. Okay. You want to see. 580 is the minimum credit score. And then as far as your credit score, you want to see, if you have a stable income, if that's a good indicator that you make your mortgage payment as well. Okay. And then as far as work history, we want to know that you have stable income, so that you're able to continue to make the mortgage payment. So if you're jumping from job to job and you only have part-time income, sometimes it's a little more difficult to get you qualified. I got you. So they want to make sure you're stable more than anything else. I got you. So when it comes to, I know that first part of that is credit. A lot of people are worried about their credit. It might not be. They think they got bad credit. What credit score does somebody need to get qualified for a loan? I mean, where does it kind of start at?
Okay.
anything under that, there are programs where you can go lower,
Mhm.
but it requires a lot more down payment, and you can't use any outside funds.
Gotcha. So when you say outside funds, what does that mean, I guess?
Right. So like I'm talking about like home down payment assistance
Mm-hmm.
can't be used. Gift funds can't be used. It has to come from you.
Gotcha. Okay. So it has to be from, like my personal money that I'm making either from my job, money
Right.
that's
That
put
you
in my
save,
savings or whatever that is.
Mhm.
It can't be, I can't go to, so I can't go to a guy down the street and say, hey, I need $10,000 to get this house. I can't just, hey,
No,
I got the money now, right?
No, never that.
I got you.
Yeah, it always has to be all down payments have to be verified.
Okay.
So it can't be cash. It has to be something that's in a bank account and been seasoned for at least 60 days.
Okay.
So other forms of down payments that you can use: 401k,
Mm-hmm.
life insurance if you have a cash value in the life insurance policy. Again, gift funds from family members that has to be documented properly.
Okay.
And those are basically the main ways to pay for your down payment.
I got you. So when a buyer comes in there, of course the goal is to find out, if they can qualify and what amount they can qualify for, basically. So I've heard the term pre-qualified, pre-approved. Is that the same thing, or what's the difference? As
Right.
far as when you're looking at that?
Right. Pre-qualified. No, they're different. So pre-qualified is just the when you take the application and we don't have any documents,
Mm-hmm.
right? And based on what the client's given us, what you've given us,
Okay.
you qualify. So that's pre-qualification. Yeah. So we can move on to the next steps of pre-approval.
Gotcha.
You get those documents, and verify this is your income. This is where you work.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you live, and then even get it underwriting approved.
Okay.
So that's what a pre-approval is when you go through the underwriting process up front before you even find a house.
Okay.
So once the underwriter goes through it, they'll say, hey, yep, all we need is a contract
Mm-hmm.
for the house. All we need is the appraisal and make sure the appraisal is right.
Okay.
And other than that, they're good to go.
I got you. So when you say underwriting, and a lot of people may not understand what's going on in that process, what is an underwriter typically looking for to get me approved for, a loan or get me in a house, I guess? What kind of questions are they going to be asking me? What type of documentation do I need to turn in to let them know that, hey, I can qualify for this and I can afford to buy this house, I guess?
Right. Yeah. So the typical documents that we'll be needing is last 30 days of pay. So pay stubs,
Mm-hmm.
tax returns, W-2s that verifies your income. A driver's license. You need to verify that you are you.
Okay.
And bank statements. Bank statements or wherever your down payment's coming from. So those are the main things they're looking for. They want to make sure that you have the stable income,
Okay.
and you have the down payment money, the minimum required investment
I got you.
to purchase the home.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. It seems, pretty straightforward. I know a lot of people think the process is so complicated and so overwhelming,
Yeah.
but it's really just they want to make sure you got to come in, make sure you got the credit, so you pay
Right.
your bills.
Right.
They want to make sure that you got income.
Right.
You got steady income coming in,
That's it.
and based upon that information, you can typically go out and get you a mortgage loan and actually purchase a home.
Right.
Pretty simple.
Right.
So, what do you think are some of the? I guess I know you work with a lot of people, and I run into folks all the time. What do you think are some of the most common misconceptions or roadblocks that people usually have in their mind that's stopping them from even trying? I mean, what kind of things do you usually see or hear about?
It's one of two things. Typically, it's their credit score. They think their credit score is low.
Not good enough. Okay.
Or not good enough. And then money. So credit and money.
Okay.
Are the main issues that I hear people talk about. So they'll say, I need to get my credit up. Well, what are you doing to get your credit up?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to get your
Yeah, like what's the game plan?
What's the game plan? What is your credit score?
Mm-hmm.
Let's find those things out. And then they say, I don't have enough money, which, how much money do you think is needed?
Right.
A big misconception is you need 20%.
Right. That's where I was going. Yeah, a lot of people think I gotta have 20%. If I don't have it, I can't buy a house.
No. FHA, 3.5%. Conventional. Some conventional products are only 3%.
Mm-hmm.
But regular conventional loans, minimum is 5% down.
Okay.
And like I said, those can come from 401k, they can come from gift funds from family, they can come from your own personal funds that you have saved up, life insurance policies.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many ways to get that money. And a lot of people are creative, and then it stops a lot of other people from buying a home. Which, if you have the right people on your side to help walk you through it, it's not a difficult process.
Exactly.
21 to 30 days.
That's not bad at all. Not a long time at all.
Days you have your home.
Now I've heard, just in talking to people, and a lot of first-time home buyers will often ask me, are there things that are out there or available to them, resources like down payment assistance, or are there any zero down loans that truly exist, or is that just a myth in the market right now?
Yeah, there's down payment assistance, but it's just for down payment.
Okay.
All right. There's also settlement costs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's title fees. There's going to be an appraisal fee. There's going to be discount points if you're not buying if you're buying down the rate, which is for another conversation. So there's other things that are involved that are out of pocket as well.
Okay.
Not just the down payment. There's other fees as well. There's lender fees as well, underwriting, processing fee.
Mm-hmm.
So down payment assistance covers the down payment.
Okay.
But it doesn't cover the closing costs. So they're two different things, and that's a big misconception. So there's ways to actually pay little to no money.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about seller concessions on a real estate agent side, if they structure a contract where the seller pays some of those closing costs,
Okay.
or all of them, and then they're utilizing down payment assistance. Yeah, you can. I've had clients not buy a house and not pay anything.
So literally, you saying they went to the closing table, signed the paperwork, walked away with the keys, and they didn't come out of next to nothing out of the pocket.
Yeah, I've had clients pay nothing. I've had clients have to bring $200.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just all about having that right team in place that knows how to actually execute.
So really structuring the deal properly to make sure.
Yeah, because it's gonna be on both sides, the real estate agent and the lending side.
Okay.
Or the the representative side. But those so to actually qualify for down payment assistance is getting more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's already lending guidelines, federal guidelines. They actually add more on top of those. So,
Okay.
So you definitely want to speak with someone who knows those different down payment assistance programs, because there's multiple programs out there. And then you might qualify for a few of them, but you can only use one, maybe two.
I got you.
So you need to deal with someone who, if you're going that route, you need to deal with someone who knows those products very well.
I got you. Yeah, because I know that, I've definitely, looked into those before when buyers ask me about them, and I know there's different stipulations. Sometimes there's income-driven things. It could be credit score. It could be where the property's located. It can be all kind of different things that drive you.
Yep. All of those things. So typically, you need to have at least a 650 credit score.
Okay.
And a lot of, in most down payment assistance programs, you can't make over the medium income
for that area.
Okay. Right. And it's based on how many people that are in your house. It's based on the income of the household, not just the person that's on the loan.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stipulations to these down payment assistance programs, and you definitely want to go through those and weed them out up front if that's an option that you want to explore.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So as far as with those down payment assistance programs, I've heard things like, if you do the down payment assistance, does it sometimes impact your interest rate? Does it make it higher at times, or how does that work out?
Yeah, typically it does.
Okay.
It does, because the down payment assistance, most down payment assistance programs they don't come from the lender. They're like outside organizations.
Okay.
So they could be a nonprofit organization, and they have their rules and regulations to these loans. So us as lenders, even though we write the loans, we don't have as much control over them.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
So they regulate, like, sometimes what the rate can be. It might have to be a point higher, half yeah, it can definitely affect your rate. But again, you don't, they give you that down.
Right. So it's less out of pocket up front. So
Yeah,
it's like you're gonna either pay up front or you're gonna pay on the back end, one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
I got you. So so shifting gears a little bit, I just know, you always, on social media or whatever, you always hear they're talking about millennials all the time,
Right.
that age group. And they're saying millennials aren't buying homes, they're not, they're not interested in doing it, so what do you think are what would you say are some of the top reasons maybe that a millennial should consider home ownership? What do you think are some of the important reasons for that?
Yeah, the first reason is the tax benefits. I mean, if you don't own a home, you're paying more taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mortgage interest is tax deductible. I guess you can have a home office when you're renting, but it's not the same as when you actually own the home.
Yeah.
So besides tax benefits, it's the mindset that you get when you own. I mean, when you actually own a piece of the earth, you know what I'm saying? It changes your mind a little bit.
Oh yeah, it does.
Ownership just makes you just a better person. You just start thinking different.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it did for me anyway.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, you move and think differently.
Right.
When it's a whole different sense of pride that you walk into when I come home and I know this is my house, I own it. Versus when you're renting somewhere and I literally got to ask, can I paint the walls? Can I do this? Can I do that? Always feeling like it's somebody else's that I got to get permission from before I can do it.
Right.
There's just I think there's a whole nother level of power just in ownership in general, whether you're talking about homes, businesses, whatever that is.
Right.
Owning just,
Yeah, you take pride. You take pride in it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I just pick up trash in my neighborhood because I live in this neighborhood.
Exactly.
It's not even on my property.
You got
picking up trash.
You got to stake in this thing now.
Right.
Yeah. You're not looking at this like I'm just gonna be here for this 12 months of this lease and I'm out. No, I'm here. I own this piece. I'm here. I'm building the equity stake in this property that I purchased. And someday I'm gonna make some money off of this. So I'm gonna make sure that the property value stay up. So it's critical.
Right.
So I mean, I'm definitely always preaching that. I'm always talking about ownership. Let's own. Let's do that. So just trying to give folks some of the background of why I'm always we're always pushing those type of things or whatever. It's so critical right now. People complain about their neighborhoods. They complain about different things that are going on. But when you have no stake in it, you have no meat in the game, no nothing.
Right.
You have no control. You can't make anything happen.
No control. I mean, you don't have a true will to do anything about it if you don't own it.
Exactly.
You take care of what you own. It's just like that first car you got. You washed it every week.
Every day you out there shining it
up. Keeping it clean. It's not even dirty. Getting the oil change. You haven't even driven it 1,000 miles.
That's it.
It's the same way.
The same philosophy behind it. Yeah, that's serious. Well, yeah, man, I don't want to hold you up too long, man. But as far as going forward, if I'm that person out there that's looking, I'm thinking I want to get a home, want to get into a home. So what would you say is the first thing right now for them to take action as far as if they want to own a home this year? What's the next thing they need to do after watching this video?
They need to apply.
Okay.
Just apply, and then from there, whoever you choose as your loan officer, I promise they're going to get back with you and let you know exactly what you qualify for.
Okay, so just reaching out. The first action that you need to take is reaching out to a lender, someone like Chris, who can basically hold your hand and walk you through that process. So don't feel like you need to know everything. Don't feel like you need to know all the information before moving forward. The key thing is just to take action. So going forward, if somebody does want to contact you, what's the best way to get in touch with you now?
Just shoot me a text or call me 937-829-3661.
All right, perfect. And I'll also put Chris's contact information below the video. So if anybody wants to get in contact with Chris, he's one of the best in the game. He'll definitely take care of you and make sure that you get in a position to own that home in 2020. So let's make it happen. Let's continue pushing this ownership in 2020. I believe that anybody out there that has the desire to be an owner, you can be an owner. It's not necessarily about if you can become an owner, it's when you can become an owner. So we just got to put the game plan together to make that happen for you. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me, Chris, man. And
Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.